Hi, I'm Joe. Welcome back. This is the Ultimate Love Letter. Thank you for joining the conversation. Happy Holy Week. I thought it would be appropriate as we celebrate this sacred week to see how we can be encouraged on what happened to Jesus during this final week that needed to come to pass for the victory, which is the resurrection. Holy Week symbolizes the entrance of Jesus into Jerusalem. And Jesus knew that although he was about to embark on extreme suffering, he knew it needed to come to pass in order for the victory to come to fruition. And as I spent yesterday just reflecting on everything that happened during this week, I was asked to reflect on my own life. What things needed to die? What things did I need to lose in order for victory to come? Everything in life, even though I know it seems like better days will not come. I know that it seems like the dark season will never turn to light, but it is a time for us to understand that everything is in divine order. Life is working out for us, not against us. And things must be lost. Things must go away. Things must die off in order to bring renewal, in order to bring the promises, in order to bring victory. So how can we apply this understanding to our own life? Perhaps we found ourselves in a season of chaos, of disorder, a season of loss, a season of troubling news. Perhaps you're ill. Perhaps you've lost somebody. Perhaps you've lost something. And you feel like you have been abandoned in this season. Can we look to God? Can we look on what's going on underneath the surface and understand that everything is in order? Can we look to what happened to Jesus that needed to happen to bring the ultimate in healing, to bring salvation, to bring a winning season? Can we be encouraged right now? The darkness will turn to light if we do not wallow there. We prolong pain, we prolong the darkness by fighting against the darkness. If you find yourself in a season of loss, how can you simply embrace it, feel the emotions that will come with it, right? Just as Jesus did. Jesus asked God to remove the cup from him. But he did say, but not my will be done, but yours. So as we're going through seasons of loss, it is certainly okay to feel those emotions, to cry out, to go through whatever it is, all the feelings that must come, and allow them to pass. We are human, just as Jesus was. But how can we thank God through those seasons? How can we understand that he is up to something underneath the surface? I know it looks like help is not coming. I know it looks like this season will not end. But I'm here to tell you it is ending, and it is ending now. The quicker we can embrace it, the quicker we can thank God for it, the quicker we can release it, meaning not pondering, not pining, not wallowing in what has gone, but just saying, God, thank you. It went away. It wasn't here. I've outgrown the spaces. I've outgrown this. This season is showing me something. Then the quicker we will be pulled through it to the other side. Perhaps you've lost a loved one. Can we understand what the Bible teaches us about death and life? Really, everything is energy, including our lives. Our soul is energy. It will never die. It will only transcend to the next level. The other side of what we know is this life. If we believe that this is all there is, life on earth is all there is, then perhaps, you have a reason to grieve. Because the truth is, there is so much more after this. The truth is, when we are living for God, we are guaranteed entrance into the most blissful ecstasy form of living that we could not even comprehend on this side. So if you've lost someone, can you consider what the Bible teaches us? That really, this side of living is painful. This side of living is dark. This side of living is nothing compared to the bliss of heaven. The promises that are ours, that nothing can even compare on this side of life. Can we celebrate a life lived close to God and now they have been rewarded with the entrance of heaven? I know it's a season of sadness. I know that we are mourning, that perhaps we won't be able to speak to them in the same way that we know that we're familiar with speaking to them. But perhaps we can look to the day where we will be rejoined, that we will be reconnected. Can we continue to love them here and speak to them in the depths of our being? Our loved ones who have gone on to glory have been rewarded with what God has promised them. Can we sit in encouragement with that truth? If we believe it, if we're living for it, will be rejoined with those that have gone on. Can we sit in that truth and in that encouragement? Can that strengthen us? Can we really celebrate their life here and after? Can we look to something more profound than this? What can we allow to go in the background of our life? Something perhaps that God is removing from us because something needs to grow, something better needs to be given in its place. It is a beautiful thing. If God is removing things from you right now, God is essentially saying, you have outgrown this. I want to give you more, but you got to let this thing that is less than, you got to give it to me. You got to let it go. You got to let it die. You got to release it for your victory, for your comeback. I understand it's scary to let go of things that are comfortable, things that are known. I mean, I get it. But when I look back in my life in hindsight, every time I have lost something, meaning God took something away, I was only rewarded with bigger and better. Every time I let go of one job and I received another job, it was always an ascension some way. And it did not necessarily always mean monetary. It didn't mean I went on to make more money, but it went on to set me up for the greatest comeback of my life. Anytime that I made a move that perhaps I second guessed, like, oh my goodness, maybe this move didn't serve me. Maybe I made a mistake. No. God used it to set me up for victory. Anytime I was met with a situation that required justice, a situation that was uncomfortable, something I didn't want to go through, but God was putting me in that position to go through this discomfort. As I just remained looking at God, trusting God for the outcome, it was uncomfortable going through it. But on the other side was a winning season. Our journey will create our character far more than the destination ever will. What are you intending on now? What is your goal? What are your dreams? Great. If God placed those dreams on your heart, and you will know if He has, because those are the burning desires within you. Those are the things that wake you up in the morning, the things that you ponder about, the things that you imagine about. Those are from God. He wants those things also. That is your life purpose. That is what you're meant to give the world. Great. You will have it if you allow Him to take you on the journey that prepares you for it. And the journey that you will be on will come with a lot of loss, because He needs to build that character. He needs to build your testimony. He needs to build your endurance. He needs to build the strength to mold you. What He's doing is He is molding you. He's shaping you for that very vision that you have over your life. It isn't one day you're living this toxic, mediocre life, and the next day you're this grand superstar living your dream life. What? Where's the transition? What did you learn? You learned nothing? Then please, how can you take this experience that you are now into a grand experience without the experience of the journey? You can't, and you won't. Allow Him to shape you. Allow Him to remove, to tweak the things that need to go, to chisel away all that's not you, so that you can step into all that is you. Things will need to go so that things can be added to you. Things will need to go so things can come. He is removing the cocoon to give you the wings. He is only removing to replace with better. Can we allow Him? Can we trust in the loss of whatever He's taken away to bring us our renewed season? Can you take the loss today to receive the victory tomorrow? That is the question. When we think about Holy Week, we think about the loss of our humble King. But really, there was no loss. It needed to look like a loss. Things needed to die and things needed to come to pass so that the ultimate victory would come about, which is the resurrection. Like, I think about Jesus living life in human form. How profound would it have been when I'm contemplating if He would have, yes, rode to Jerusalem in a humble manner on a donkey, coming with not a sword, but coming with peace and love and humility. And then perhaps he was allowed to take up his throne and then die of old age. Would that have been as profound as the way that it actually happened? Him riding in on a donkey, showing how humble he is. He didn't ride in on a war horse like the other kings that came before him. He rode in humbly on a donkey. And then was arrested. And then was mocked. And then convicted. And then beat in the most unimaginable way, only for that not to be enough. Then to be crucified and still mocked, knowing he could have unleashed all of the angels to rescue him, and he did not. He did not in that moment ask God to rescue him. And then to die on the cross, and then to rise later. That was the ultimate victory. That was meant and that was designed to show us, to change us, to transform us in that miraculous, that miracle moment of, oh my goodness, my God came and my God conquered. He overcame death after extreme suffering, the ultimate victory. That happened for you and for me. That all happened to show us how God will use loss in our own life only to bring victory, just as Jesus did, just as God used it all. It was always in divine order. The little things that you and I are going through pale in comparison. Of course, we know that all that Jesus went through, but it was meant to come to pass so that we can look to it, so that we can be encouraged from it, so that we can rely on the strength of our God. What is God asking you to let go of today? Allow Holy Week to remind you of the divine order that is everything. Let go of it now so that God can give you victory tomorrow. I encourage you to encourage on this sacred week. I encourage you to look to God, to draw closer to God, to thank Him for everything that is working out for your betterment today. I know it looks like loss, but it's actually a giant blessing in disguise. Thank you for joining this convo. I ask that God blesses you during this beautiful week. I ask that you reflect on it, that you allow God to bring you all that He has for you, that He shapes you in grace, that you receive it in grace. He knows the plans He has for you, and they are plans to prosper you and not to harm you. For God's sake, let Him. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll chat again soon. Bye for now.